We fight for workers' rights and we shall not be moved. We fight for workers' rights and we shall not be moved. Just like a tree planted by the water, we shall not be moved.
Workers' rights.
Thank you so much. And now I just want to share with you all some of the reasons why we are here today. This is a part of the organization United for Respect at Walmart, known as Our Walmart. This is an organization that was formed, it was created by Walmart associates across the country. If you have been following the news lately in the last couple of weeks, there have been strikes, there have been civil disobedience performed by Walmart workers and some other foreign workers and their families, supporting workers, Walmart workers on their struggle to fight for their rights. Most of the workers, what happened when Walmart workers try to enforce their right, they get retaliated against. They've been shut down. They've been told not to speak out.
About how one of our cart pushers, after pushing carts for weeks in the cold and the rain, came down with a severe case of the flu, and for forgetting to call out during one of the days he spent in the hospital, got fired. How one of my co-workers from the deli was fired on her very last day at Walmart after they had no more use for her for having forgotten one day to pay for a meal plate worth $3.50 3 months prior. She had signed a new lease earlier that day, but termination for theft caused her to lose her new job and have to move back with her family in Florida. Later that night, I was required to throw away hundreds of dollars worth of food.
In America, we are a land sometimes where people abuse capitalism. And in this land, at times, you know, this is so-called Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. We love to have holidays or holy days or fast days, the Bible would call them. But then we turn around on holidays and we commercialize them. We talk a lot about Thanksgiving and Christmas being a time of sharing. And that's why I'm so appreciative of my brother's narrative of the depth of the greed that we see being modeled by and lived by in Walmart. Must be exposed. Needs to be exposed. Has to be exposed. And not just for workers here, but even for politicians who give tax breaks to allow these companies to come into our community. You ought not be receiving tax breaks from the state or tax breaks from the county when you're going to come in and raise up an unjust business that hurts the workers. We talk a lot about Thanksgiving and Christmas being a time of sharing, a time of caring and love. But love has to be more than giving somebody a free turkey one day of the year. And love has to be something more than just putting up some cute lights and singing Christmas carols. What we find too often is, in this situation, during a time of Thanksgiving, a business like Walmart uses this time to grab more and to get more. Even on yesterday, so greedy that they would not allow their business to stay closed until today. But they made workers come back at 6 p.m. at supper time. And a lot of workers needed to be with their family, with their children, with their loved ones. And I thought about how wrong that is in light of the fact that when Abraham Lincoln first issued his proclamation for Thanksgiving in 1863, they took a break from war. Walmart can't take a break from greed.
That's right. That's right.
Think about that. They took a break from war, a nation torn asunder. And in the middle of that, Abraham Lincoln said, let's stop. And he called all the United, not just the Union, but even the Confederate. Just let's stop for a moment. They could take a break from war 150 years ago. And 150 years later, Walmart can't take a break from greed.
That's right. That's right.
Workers' rights. I say, what do you want? You say fair pay. What do you want? 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 Fair pay. I say, what do you want? You say respect. What do you want? 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 Respect. I say, what do you want? You say justice. What do you want? 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 Justice. Church, say amen. Amen. I'm the Reverend Curtis Everett Gatewood of the North Carolina NAACP State Conference. I enthusiastically serve as the HKMJ Coalition Coordinator, along with the Forward Together Moral Movement, under the leadership of Reverend Dr. William J. Barber II of the North Carolina NAACP, HKMJ, the Forward Together Moral Movement, HKMJ partners across the state. We will not relent in our stand for workers' rights. We will not waver in our stand for livable wages. We will not succumb in our stand for fair working conditions for all human beings. We will not back down. We will not sit it down. We will not turn around. We will keep on marching forward together and not one step back.
Yes.
Let me assure you that as we seek livable wages and fair working conditions at Walmart, we will see this as a part of a larger moral movement that has captured the attention, the imagination, and the support from millions of justice-seeking individuals across North Carolina, across this nation, across the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, where brothers, even foreign brothers and sisters overseas, see this as a new wave of hope as we override the rising tide of injustice aimed at the poor in this generation. So therefore, as we leave here, we want you to think about on December 23rd, we will come together at 4 p.m. at the state capitol, downtown Raleigh, where we will stand up and say no to extremists and immoral policies that take medicine from those who are poor and sick and eligible to receive Medicaid. We will say no to extreme and immoral policies that take food from the mouths of the poor and leave them hungry as you deny them unemployment benefits that they were eligible for. We will say no to extremist and immoral policies that will abridge voting rights for youth, the poor, the elderly, and people of color. So we also say unto you, come together again on Saturday, February 28th, as the moral march toward justice continues at our HKMJ annual mass mobilization on downtown Raleigh. We're gonna march on this state on February 8th. We're gonna march on this state in February 8th. We need your help to help us mobilize like it's 1955. We're gonna march on this state on February 8th. We need your help to call everyone you know, have them on the streets, tell them we're gonna march on this state on February 8th. We have platforms here if you would like to sign up, because regardless of extremists and immoral policies, we come here, we will not back down, we will not turn around, we're gonna step forward, we're not gonna back up, we're gonna go forward together, not one step back. We're gonna go forward together, not one step back. So if you're ready to go forward, say yeah. Yeah. If you're ready to stand up, say yeah. Yeah. If you're ready for workers' rights, say yeah. Yeah. If you're ready to stand up for livable wages, say yeah. Yeah. If you're ready to go forward, not one step back, say yeah. Yeah. Say yeah. Yeah. Say yeah. Yeah. When I say, what do you want? You say respect. What do we want? 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 Respect. I say, what do you want? You say respect. What do you want? 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 Respect. I say, what do you want? You say workers' rights. What do you want? 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 Workers' rights. Workers' rights! Workers' rights! What do you want? Fair pay! Fair pay! Third time, we're going to have some people in custody, or we're going to have to charge you citations. Who's in charge of the rally here? Because it's not you. Who's in charge of the rally? Because I was invited here Okay, sir, leave the property, please.
Okay, because I don't answer to him. I answer to the leaders of this rally. That's who I answer to.
Permit?
Follow the marshal. We're gonna head back this way and keep chanting.
Okay.
Injustice!
Louder.
Injustice!
What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
Now!
What do you want?
Justice!
When do you want it?
Now!
No peace!
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Only greed! Greed! Greed for Walmart! Greed! Greed for Walmart! Greed! Greed!
Treat your workers like you should!
Walmart! Walmart! You're no good! Treat your workers like you should!
Walmart! Walmart! You're not good!
Treat your workers like you should! Walmart! Walmart! You're no good! Treat your workers like you should! Walmart! Walmart! You're no good! Treat your workers like you should! Walmart! Walmart!
You can hide! We can see your greedy side!
Walmart! Walmart! You can't hide! We can see your greedy side!
And then he says, God says, this is the kind of fast day. This is the kind of holiday that God really wants. Number one, break the chains of injustice. Number two, if you want to stop doing something, get rid of exploitation in the workplace. That's actually in the scriptures. It's in the scriptures 2,600 years ago. Get rid of exploitation in the workplace. Free the oppressed. Cancel the debt. Then it says, what I'm interested in doing if you want to be a great nation is share your food with the hungry. Invite the homeless poor into your home. Put clothes on the shivering ill-clad. Ethics is economics. Economics is ethics. You cannot separate morality from your money. And then the same scripture says, if you get rid of unfair practices in the workplace, and if you quit blaming the victims, and if you begin to treat people right, then it says, God says, I will hear your prayers, I will answer your prayers, but more importantly, God says that I will call you repairers of the breach. If you are generous with the hungry, if you pay people what they deserve, then you will be known as a society that can repair the walls, that can repair the ruins, that can rebuild the broken places, that can make the community livable again. If you do these things. What we do with wealth says more about one's morality than almost any other thing you can do. Fact of the matter, in my tradition and the biblical tradition, wealth and how we treat the poor is the number 2, quote unquote, sin in the Bible. The only other sin that's greater is idolatry, which is worship of self. And whenever a company worships itself to the point that it will hurt the poor, it is in fact violating 2 of God's highest commands.